Welcome to ViviTalks. I'm Vivienne Aerts. Join me in celebrating 100 talented female musicians from my last album, Typuhthâng, empowering female cacao farmers in Congo's Virunga State Park and restoring the rainforest. Delve into the musical journeys, creative processes, and unique perspectives of these talented women that were involved in the making of this album.
My name is Maria Triana. I am Colombian. I'm originally Colombian. I lived in the US for half of my life, and I am currently in the Netherlands. I am the master engineer in this record. And it was actually very interesting and a lot of fun because the songs, throughout the record, it's all very different. And there's very different, not only instrumentation, but harmonies and resonance. And I had a lot of fun working on it. It was challenging as well, but it was just so rich in colors, and I loved it. I hope I was able to bring out the best out of it, and I think it did. I was very happy with the final product.
How did you work on finding the right way to approach this project?
It was just, from the beginning, it was the whole idea, and I saw how it was getting developed, and so I knew the story behind it. I knew what she wanted to do with the record, and it felt very graphic. So I kind of like envisioned all these stories that she was telling me, and all the environments, all like how you can hear all the sounds and the birds and all these soundscapes, and I made this picture book in my head, and then I envisioned all these like frequencies and colors and harmonies that would make this whole composition. So I wanted to embrace that and enhance it with what I do, which is working with frequencies and bringing things up and making things louder. And I wanted to add color basically to this picture.
For everybody that doesn't really know what a master engineer is, can you explain a little more about?
I see it as like the whole recording process. I see it almost like if you're cooking, right? So you start with the very good ingredients, which are like your tracks. Like you record the instruments, and that's kind of like you go to the organic market and you get the best tracks that you can. Get your best ingredients, and then you chop them. And this is what editing is, and then you mix them, just like what mix engineers do. You mix all these vegetables and you start cooking them. And at the final process, I come in and I give the condiments. So I take these little spices and I give a little salt and I give a little pepper or a hint of lemon or a hint. And it's just this little tiny hints that make a huge difference and bring up the flavor on something that could be magical or not. It could ruin it. But the idea is that you add tiny little flavors to enhance something, and then I present it to everybody. So I'm the last person to listen to it and the one that creates the final master, or basically serve it in your plate.
Yeah.
Easy?
I really like that. I really like that. Yeah. What you did was make it one whole so that also these songs all fit together, right?
Yes. So that's one of my favorite things about mastering. Unfortunately, right now we do work a lot with singles, but the idea behind an album is that you actually tell a story. And the beauty of the story that we're telling in this album is that you can feel that every single song flows to another one. And if you hear it from beginning to end, it has a story. And there's just, that breath from the beginning, that just as one note starts, it starts with an intention and it ends with an intention. And that space in between each track is that magical space that gives you enough breath to cleanse and start the new experience. That's, to me, that's like one of the special parts about mastering, is that I finally present the story. Like every single piece has been worked on, and it takes so much to get to it. And I just, at the end, I put every single piece together. Like I put, I don't know, like, yeah, I put the album of pictures together, and now we have a whole masterpiece.
Literally, yeah.
Literally, yes, exactly.
A masterpiece.
It is a masterpiece. Masterpiece, yes.
I gave you a free pass of doing what you do best, right?
Yes.
Is that maybe that's not common, but how did you approach that freedom? Do you think you did it?
Yes, I mean, it's nice, but it's also very daunting, because I'm usually, when I work with somebody, and so my idea is that I always want to know what's in it, like that sonic idea that you have in your head, like what are your expectations, and I know you, and I know your taste, or I think I know your taste. So but you're just kind of like, yeah, just, just go for it and see how it feels. And there's that freedom and that creativity, which is nice, but it's also kind of like daunting. Like, am I doing what you want? And like, am I going to make you happy with the final result, basically, right? But also, there is the truth that music, it speaks for itself, right? And everything that you had already worked on, it just kind of leads you to the place that we are, like to create this record. And the music just kind of like spoke to me, like, and this is where I wanted to bring it, and I think it worked out great. But yeah, I'm always kind of like, I sent it to you, and I was just kind of like, oh my god, I hope she likes it. But yeah, I mean, I appreciate it, and not only that, you're just kind of like, yeah, go ahead and do your thing, and the freedom, but also the trust. Here I am with the baby that you have worked on, and you're just kind of like, go for it. So it's daunting, but it's also like, yeah, it's very nice. It's very touching as well.
Thank you. Well, it's not the first
No,
project
thank
you're
you for
working
trusting
on.
me.
Well, I know you have a very like you have an amazing portfolio. You've been you've been with Sony and Battery Studios, and you work with like the biggest names in the world, right? So yeah, it was
Yes,
easy
but
to trust you.
yeah, but it's just kind of, I mean, it's interesting, because even though I've worked with a lot of people are like, they're very sellers of their work. Like, sometimes I feel like, because I'm in the final step of mastering, it's the final step. It's like I'm delivering their baby. And they sometimes have a hard time, like, letting go of the project. Like, finally, this is done, and I am the one who says that it's done. And sometimes people do have a hard time letting go. And then other ones are like, no, this is my baby. Like, I'm gonna do it my way, but you're gonna help me get there. So having that creative freedom, it was very nice. Thank you.
You're welcome. What was your favorite thing about music? Do you have a preference for a song or a moment, or that you were like, oh my god?
I like the soundscapes.
The soundscapes?
But it's so hard to tell, because like, I'm just thinking, and I love the harmonies, and I love also the sounds, like how everything was working. And to me, like I was explaining to you, it's just kind of like, I see the harmonies, and I love the resonance, and so I start feeling its textures, and it's full of textures throughout the whole record. But each texture, it kind of like goes like this, right? And I kind of like that it would just go from one to another one to another one, but it just keep being like textures and colors and vibration. It's all different, it's coming everywhere. And sometimes it's like big, and then sometimes then you had like the choir harmonies, and you're like, oh wow, this is like huge. And then we're like in the jungle. So yeah, I love that. I think that to me that's one of the favorite thing about the record is like it's just full of textures, full of color. It is not mixed like it is not mixed like a jazz record, and it is not a rock record. It's not a record that it's gonna fit within, like, no, it's only gonna be straight jazz, and it is gonna have this type of like bass and bottom and the hi-hats like this, because it's not. But it's not just a vocal record, even though it's full of vocals, and it's not gonna be just a pop record, but it could be a little bit of everything. Like the whole idea and the whole concept that it was coming from everywhere in different voices, recorded differently, and then unified. It had to be very unique. It was not just, oh, it's already been done and this is the formula. It had to be created and given a space, and yeah, we made an awesome thing.
Thank you. Yes. So how about women? What's your opinion on women?
Especially, I mean, in the business that we are, it's male dominated, very male dominated. I mean, even if you see a band, it's mostly men, and then there might be one girl, or the same as in the world of sound. I am not the only female engineer there, like mastering engineer. I know there are other ones, but they're not. There's not many of us, and there's a reason for that. It's just because it's hard in the industry. It's hard as a musician. And hard. I mean, it is hard as a musician, regardless. But more as a woman. I mean, it is demanding, the schedules, there's stuff that you have to deal with every single day, the commitment, and it's not your typical job. So to be able to be part of this coalition of women, and it's extremely powerful and extremely inspiring, mostly because it's kind of like, yeah, we're not here alone. We're like awesome, and we do awesome work together, and we could sound this good, and we could do all of this, and all made by chicks.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, I could go crazy feminist about it too, and say like, yeah, I mean, it's just the world's afraid of us because we're awesome, and we could take over. But yeah, it's very, especially to have a record. I mean, how unique is this? You're going to have a record that everything was made by women and everybody that participated, and it's just very unique because we're not many, and to get us all together and to make it all work, it's
Yeah.
awesome.
Well, even after I basically finished all the music, I still ran into all these other musician women, and I'm like, oh, she's cool too. Yeah, I have that all the time now. Oh shit, I should have known you, right?
Volume 2 coming up.
Volume 2. Oh yes, more emails, more.
Yeah.
No, it was really amazing to just go through my network and just see what everybody's doing, and
it's beautiful. And I mean, and you could hear you could hear the energy, and you can feel the love, just it's right there, and you can feel that everybody that was part of it gave their little piece, and they left this little piece that you put the puzzle together, it's beautiful.
Yeah. Cool. Last question. What are you currently working on for your own stuff, or for what's happening?
I am working with some independent artists, I'm also have been working with some label stuff. But this, I mean, this all because I moved to the Netherlands, so it's been like a transition, but it has been of tremendous growth. And working with independent artists and working in records like this, it's very inspiring, and it actually has made me come out of my own shell in a way, to say like, yeah, I mean, I used to work for a label and depend on this label, and it's just I want to work in a more creative way, and with different types of artists, not just the label. But I actually I enjoy so much working and being challenged and listening to other types of music that I wasn't exposed to before, because I was stuck to what I was supposed to do, basically. And yeah, so I'm hoping that this is the lead way to also get to work with other independent artists and do different types of music that I haven't done. I started also teaching in Abbey Road, and it's not something that I was it's not something that I really had in mind, teaching, but it also allowed me to share my love of audio, and it was actually that interaction with other students that that you kind of need to go back to your passion. It's really, when I went back to school, I was just kind of like, wow, I miss seeing all these people that actually love the same things that I do and are as passionate about audio. And I also, I mean, I know that I'm the only female teacher there, actually, so I could make a difference. Like I could be, I was the only female student in my classes at Berkeley, and I only had one female teacher, and she was amazing. And I had somebody to look up to, and now I go to my classes and I have maybe one or two female students in my classroom, and I'm kind of like, yeah, that was me, and you could definitely do this. And so it's been very, very nice.
Anything else you'd love to add, or we didn't touch upon, or as a final note?
I don't know. I love this record. No, I'm very proud of the record. I think I can't wait to see how it's going to be received by the audience and what people are going to think about it, because it's just very exciting. And seeing it from the beginning, from talking to you more than a year ago about the idea, and you telling me like, oh, I have this idea on the chocolate, and I'm gonna get all these women, and then to see you actually do it, and put it all together, like you just hear like a conversation, and suddenly it's just kind of like, and here it is, and it's like a whole dream come true. But no, I mean, I have so much respect and admiration for you, because you're fierce. Seriously, I mean, you got all these girls together. You made this happen. I mean, it's amazing. It's amazing, and I can't wait for people to see it and realize like what you have done. It's super cool.
Yeah. I was surprised myself. Like I never expected a remote recording would sound so good. Right? Because everybody's in their own house. And obviously I do have to fix some things, right? But wow. Yeah. It's really the effort of everybody putting in their heart and their craft and their talents in
but
the way
you
that
put the
they
puzzle
do it.
together. You had like everybody gave you their own pieces,
Right.
and you just took here and here, and it's like, here it is, and that's beautiful.
Well, without you, it wouldn't be possible.
Oh,
It really
thank
added
you.
to it. Yeah.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you for letting me be part of it. It was, yeah,
Yeah.
so proud of it.
Yeah. Well, thank you for the interview.
Thank you.
It's been a pleasure. I mean, we know each other for since we moved to New York in 2015.
Oh gosh.
15 it
Yes.
is.
Yeah.
And yeah, so that's been a while. And we miss you, but we'll see you in the Netherlands when we get there.
Yes. And
And,
hopefully I'll make it to New York sometime.
I'm sure.
Yes.
Yes, you should.
Yeah. I know. That'll be so nostalgic too.
Yeah.
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 We'll make that.
As I conclude this episode of ViviTalks, I want to express my sincere gratitude for joining me in this musical journey. I hope you enjoyed exploring the stories and experiences of the incredible female musicians on my album. To stay updated on our latest episodes, subscribe to ViviTalks on your favorite podcast platform. Connect with me on social media through Vivitalks, and please check out my album Typuhthâng, a musical exchange featuring 100 female musicians to empower female cacao farmers of Virunga State Park in Congo. It's about more than just music. It's about making a positive impact in the world. Your support is part of that journey, so thank you once again for tuning in. Until next time, keep celebrating the power of music, and let's continue to amplify the voices of remarkable women in the industry. Stay inspired, stay empowered, and keep the music flowing. With love and gratitude. Till soon.